I don't focus enough on it, man. I don't focus enough on racing to... Like, I just don't focus enough on it to really like jump in there, man. We'd have to do racing a lot more. I don't know if that's necessarily what people want to see. But then again, I've never tried to play iRacing, and I've never tried to play iRacing during the day. Maybe it'll be different. I don't freaking know. I'd have to try. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is nobody cares, which is probably the most likely outcome there. Yeah. What were we working on with the SSTO? We'll just name this finalizing SSTO equipment and launch pad.
Discovery, go and
Or,
throttle.
you know, the keyboard could just stop working. That's fine. Man, what the hell's going on with Twitch's dashboard? This is mission,
Discovery, go and throttle
mode,
up.
part. Hey, who's gifting some subs there? PC Tech. Thanks, man.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate those 5 subs. The transporter. Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, it took me a second. Thank you. We just need someone in Friday Night Racing to hit it big with streaming, and we're in. All right, Predominant. Good night. You're welcome, pal. I learned a ton here. Thanks, man. All right. You just watch Finch. It's awesome. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right, Tech. Have you seen Dune yet? I have. All right, let's see what we got. The spice must flow. Nobody has blue eyes in here, do they? So, the problem, now that I'm remembering, thank you for reminding me, fellas, we were having some weird problems with the transporter. Problems with the transporter was, I mean, there's a couple of things that we need to fix. I couldn't even get the thing to dock. So, we're gonna have to figure that one out. He did Axiom, yeah, it's really good. This is much more reflective, I think, of the original book than the other movie was. So, who knows? Alright, let's find the transporting vehicle. Jeb truck. So we're trying to make a little bit of a better vehicle to be able to transport this thing around, to be able to get it back to the pad easier. And this should actually help us with docking operations on the pad as well. And payload operations too. I'm trying to make a vehicle that transports on the belly of the of this. And don't worry, you know, like before I would tow it from the front. This we could still tow it from the front if we have to. This thing is trying to be an end-to-end solution. So like this is something that we can use to carry the thing, right? It's something we can use to carry the vehicle when, like we're doing payload integration and stuff. But I'm worried I might have to do something like this soon. Hey, Enraged, what's going on? Just finished watching the YouTube vid catch up. Dude, this whole build is epic. All these years I'm still learning. Right on, man. Thank you. Alright, so let's I'm gonna reload this because I don't know what I moved there. Well, I'm glad you like it, Enraged. Yeah. This is a hard one. This is a hard challenge finalizing this thing out. It's taken a lot. It takes a lot of thinking. A lot of, you know, trying to find that perfect way to do things. But we'll get it. Okay. Let's see what we got, dudes. Let's see if we can move this thing around. So we're gonna, with our tests here, I'm gonna use number 9. This is the one that technically flew into space, right? For this first successful mission. And we'll make sure there's no Kerbals aboard. Get Val and Bill out of there. And we'll put it out to see if we can move this thing around without blowing it up. There is some stuff that I have to redo. I think. A little bit. Couple of things here and there that needs to be kind of redone. But so the first thing that I'm really going to check here, and this is probably something that I should have done before we did the docking and undocking, so let's just... let's just see if this thing is cool with moving this thing around. I'm gonna go up on this big boy here. Ah, crap. We only have a certain amount of EC. Alright, let's see what we got. Can we move this thing? Look at this. Yeah, it doesn't seem to mind. I'm thinking I need to give this vehicle a little bit of a once-over. We need to change it around a little bit. One, I think it needs a little bit of a wider base, because watch what happens when we turn. Now, this vehicle is also on jacks. I can lift it up, right? It actually moves pretty good. It looks so funny like this, though. Look at that. Derp. Big boy wheels don't fit under it, O-Force. These wheels can take the loads pretty much fine. Let's just see. I want to see what happens when we drive it over the seam right there. Alright. See, this is a much better way of transporting it, because I don't have to worry about the landing gear. This makes this vehicle a lot more maneuverable. I can do stuff like this and not have to worry about, you know, not have to worry about moving it around on stuff. And then, you know, when we're going up and down hills, right, I can just deploy the thing's landing gear so we don't have to worry about the vehicle bending when we're going like up a ramp or if I'm moving this somewhere. This thing also needs to be reworked because it needs to have jet engines. I really honestly and truly do not think that this is enough rover wheels to be able to get this thing up any type of grade without breaking something. I would test driving it off here, but it'll crash. We'll break the SSTO. I don't want to do that. The wheelbase is fine. Yeah, but it's the jacks, Krillani. Hold on. Let's, oh boy. Yep. We locked the tires. That's good. Sure, that's good for it. Alright, so that's the alignment hinges. And then the overclock is in the center. Let's go over here. Let's open this editor and let's set this to like 30 seconds just so it works slowly. And let's play it and see what it does. Yeah, that, yeah, it's probably an issue. Do not tilt off the side, please. Empty with no payload, Forfa. Payload should be negligible in this regard, to be honest with you. Need some flex tape. Okay, so transportation is okay. If it tilted the other day and ridged, I would have been very upset. This transporter moves a lot quicker than Jet Truck, though. And this is all part of kind of this final push that I'm making to get this thing kind of ready to go. This final push is basically about operations. It's about getting this thing ready to be integrated quickly, because I want to launch this thing a lot. We have stuff to do. I make stick crafts. Not sure I could craft something like this. Timo, I have like 10,000 hours in KSP. Yeah, I wouldn't, let me put it to you like this. This is not beginner stuff. This is not beginners stuff. This is super advanced KSP. And I have a rule set that I play by that makes it even more difficult. Not only have to build this thing and make it 100% reusable, like land it on the runway, have this thing go, lift itself up, dock to the stupid thing, but then what I want to be able to do is drag it back over here, and then I built my own launch pad for this too. I engineered my own launch pad with Kerbal parts. And I'm trying to just finalize that process out to get the whole system working. And I need to be able to also have the capability of being able to swap out the payload. So we have a configurable docking port style payload bay. There's a lot to take into account here, but this is like super advanced KSP. I wouldn't expect this from a beginner player. And if you're a beginner at KSP, unless you work for NASA or something, I wouldn't expect you to do it either. Hey, you want to hear the honest truth about rocket science? Who cares if you make a stick rocket? If it does what you need it to do, it doesn't matter. Engineering isn't about who can make a better engineering thing, or who can make a better construct of engineering. Engineering's about application. So if it does what you need it to do, then it's good. If you're gardening in the backyard, you don't need a damn backhoe. Is a backhoe better at moving dirt than a shovel? Yeah, of course it is. But do you need that? No. I mean, you could. I don't know why you'd need that for a garden, but, I mean, is a shovel more complicated engineering than a backhoe? No, a shovel is simple. No moving parts. A backhoe is extraordinarily complicated. But do you need a backhoe to make a garden in your backyard? I mean, I'm sure somebody probably does somewhere. Someone's probably going to be like, yeah. Yeah. Why were those flippity flapping around? I need a car analogy to understand this concept. You're going to the grocery store. Do you need a Humvee? Could you use it for that? Sure. Do you need that? No. Smart car could theoretically do the same thing. But if you want a Humvee, I mean, sure. And I might just have you give me the damn craft file. Now, why is that doing that? Why, you see these things. Yeah, Anth, I might just have you give me the craft file, dude. Make it easier. Ciao, Swishio. Come stai? So, I mean, it's all about application. This is what I want for my rule set, you know? There are easier ways to launch things into space? Yeah, absolutely. But this is what I need for my rules. You know? If you're just starting out or you're just getting into Kerbal, well, good. It's a rabbit hole. Have fun. Yep. Say goodbye to the next couple of weeks. Your time will go to nothing. But yeah, you don't need to make something like this. Bene, tu. Bene. Fine. Hey, Lava Eagle, what's up? Look at this thing. She's a beast. This thing is almost there. It's gonna need a couple of tweaks, and I've noticed some things here and there that need to be fixed. But right now I'm testing driving it over this, and I'm trying to do it before we run out of electrical charge. Actually, the wheels are taking it quite well. What's the part count? Current part count is standing at 824. This thing is about 700 parts. Or 700 parts, I think. Yeah, we'll be honest, we put the time in. We put the time in and we made something awesome. I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit of a fool in that regard for even thinking about saying that this was too much work. That would have been a lot of work down the drain. I was considering when I was super tired the other day and I didn't feel good, I was like, maybe I should just make something simpler. And then I thought about it. I'm like, bro, all that freaking work that we did. What? You know, like, no, screw that. See this one through. See it through, you know. I let myself almost Eric Berger my space program. You understand? Now, Enrage, this thing with its pad, a little bit of a different story, man. I just gotta use these little solar panels out back to recuperate our electrical charge. Yeah, I need some better fuel generation systems. So, let me show you what's going on here. We made a design decision the other day to remove the center gear from this SSTO. I had an array of 4 of these style gear here, and I put them on there in an older version of the SSTO before we figured out the structural problems that were associated with this craft file. All right, I had a major structural design flaw in my tank architecture, and that caused this thing, when it landed on the runway, to explode. Yeah, I lost 4 of them that way, because I wasn't sure what the failure was, and I had no way to really test it. So, once we fixed that problem, I had viewers do some testing for me, which is part of the mission mode rules that I have to, get the viewers to help me out with some of this stuff. I had viewers do some testing for me, and what they found is that we don't need the center wheels. Anth is helping me do testing for this vehicle. We don't need the center wheels. You just don't. So I took them off, and taking them out afforded me the option to build an underslung carrier vehicle like this. This will be so much easier during the entire integration process, all right? Instead of towing the vehicle around, all right? Instead of towing the vehicle around and not being entirely sure how jet truck attaches, like jet truck could be a little crooked to the SSTO, and it could detach funny, and then I noticed that if the jet truck was crooked and we went to push it up the ramp, it always pushed it to the side and caused a misalignment. It was a big pain in the butt. This way, by making the vehicle align, I have to get under this thing, and it has to be directly under it, and it has to be completely straight underneath the thing. By making this thing align to the SSTO, I can actually... this will help me. The first and foremost reason is what you just saw. I can move it around a lot easier than I could previously. The jet truck only had 8 wheels. This thing has like 30. It's way easier to move around, but we do need better power consumption for this vehicle. But also, at the same time, because this thing aligns to the SSTO to pick it up and move it around, right? Because that's a thing, I can use this to my advantage, knowing that when this thing docks, I prototyped an alignment mechanism, but I'm not sure it's working very well. But we'll get to that. I prototyped an alignment system out, and knowing that this thing is completely straight every time means that this thing could dock to something, and that would make it easier for integration when we go to put stuff in the payload bay. Or I could put it up on these jacks and lift the thing up completely and lock the jacks in place, and that'll make it so no wheels are touching the ground. The reason why I don't want wheels touching the ground, guys, is because when you go to integrate something, so because I'm reusing these vehicles, I need to take payload out and I need to put payload in. If you do that and you dock a vehicle while it has sprung weight is what it's called, you're gonna have a bad day, especially in KSP. The reason is because you're attaching pieces to it. And when you attach stuff, the physics reloads in KSP, and because these landing gear are compressed, they're compressed because, they're holding the vehicle up, right? When you go to dock, it resets physics for a second, and it extends them and retracts them, and the vehicle will bounce. I don't need that. I don't want that kind of imprecision when we're going to reuse stuff. That bounce is what causes Kraken strikes and causes stuff to explode. So I need to figure out a way to get this vehicle docked to something that doesn't have wheels touching the ground, right? I'm working on some revisions to the pad. Anth is actually helping me with the pad, dudes, and it turns out that there is misalignments all over the place on this thing. And I didn't mean for there to be misalignments, but I think it's something with Kerbals Gliders from what Anth has been showing me. Just there's stuff that isn't completely lined up, and that's what's causing all the drift. And I'm willing to bet that that's what's causing all the drift on both of these pads. But we got to figure that one out. That's basically what made the Kraken drives, Barak. Yes. Yeah. Compressing that landing gear applies a force, right? So if you make a vehicle that just perpetually compresses the landing gear, it will perpetually apply a force to your landing gear and you will accelerate. That's what the crack and drive is. It's that exact game mechanic. The reason it does that is because there's no bump stop coded into Unity. There's no bump stop. So in real life, when you compress a spring fully, the load becomes static when the spring reaches full compression. You compress on a spring, you're going to need more force to compress it over time. You got to really push on it to get it fully compressed, right? And then once it's fully compressed, you don't need to apply any more force because you can't compress it anymore. That doesn't happen in Unity. Yeah, that doesn't happen in Unity. What happens in Unity is that you have the top of the spring and you have the bottom of the spring, okay? And you can push it to max compression, right? And when it gets to max compression, you can keep compressing the spring. You can keep compressing the spring so the bottom of the spring goes past the top of the spring. And once it goes past the top of the spring, it starts applying force. The force goes exponentially up, right? Because the bottom of the spring can go past the top of the spring. You know, there's theoretically no load limit. You could just keep compressing the spring and apply more and more force. And the more and more force you apply, because Unity is using physics, equal and opposite reactions, the more force you apply, the faster you will accelerate in the opposite direction. Equal and opposite reactions, right? That's how the crack and drive works, because you can compress the bottom of a spring past the top of the spring. You can invert the spring. And if you invert the spring, it'll accelerate you in the other direction. Serious, that's how it works. That's how Kraken strikes happen in KSP. You ever go to dock two things in KSP and they blow up? There you go. That's the reason, man. One obvious problem I see with the alignment system is that parts get crooked over time. Well, they get crooked over time because stuff doesn't line up, Swishio. It's an uncanny valley similarity with how the robotics drift in KSP. They drift because of the weak joints. They need it in order to make an animatable joint, and joints are what is used in rigging in video games. So in order to make an animatable piece, all right, that changes the physics simulation. So a robotic, the joints are weak. They're weak. That's true in real life mechanics. We talked about that during Space News with the crane, the bushing in the crane, right? That is a weaker piece of metal to prevent deformation. That happens. Mechanical components wear down over time. If you prevent your robotics from wearing, they will not drift as much. They'll still drift a little bit because of float point error, because float point error is a coding thing that has to do with this not being a full high fidelity super real simulation. It's Kerbal, so you're gonna have you're gonna have some margin of error. That's the real easy way to say it. How I describe float point error to people is, you ever take a tape measure? You ever take a tape measure and just kind of, you keep expanding the tape measure and you expand the tape measure as far as you could possibly go, right? You expand it, you keep expanding it, and it's holding up like this, right? And then over time it'll bend and then it'll eventually break. That's how float point error works. It's similar to that. It's the same kind of idea. Hey, Rocket, thank you for the raid. What's going on, buddy? Were you playing with the Galileo pack? Not Asteroid Day, the Dart pack? Yeah, we freaking developed faster, well, not faster than light. We developed FTL for Kerbal with Kraken Tech, which is funny to me. That's still funny. I was still working on a KSP Falcon 9-ish analog. Yeah, that's a tall order, dude. But you can do it. I know you can do it. That's cool, man. Got any pictures? Got pictures? You gonna show us? it worked. Hey, it worked that time. Cool. Oh, 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 Goonie Goo Goo. Oh, oh, lower the jacks, lower the jacks, lower the jacks. Oh boy, please don't blow up. Please don't blow up. I love you. I love you. I love you. Remember that time where I flew you into space and brought you back in one, please? Please don't blow up. Oh, oh, my shoe. You DM'd me the pad. Oh, thanks, mate. Oh, Bunny fell down the stairs. Goonie Goo Goo. All right. Can we not do that? Dun 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 dun. Da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da ba da ba 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 da ba ba ba. What? It's kind of a train. Yeah, see, I think we need to widen out the track on the catch vehicle toe tag. We got to make it a little bit wider because release the brainstorm to make your melon farm and brain warm. Strange form, stuff kind of lyrical. Wait, what? Come on, mother truckers, come on. Come on, mother truckers. Dude, we got switches on this thing. Look. 3-wheel motion? No. We don't got 3-wheel motion here. We got 18-wheel motion, okay? Here's the old 375 one. Let me see. Yeah, you get. Yeah, all right. You getting there? Nice. I like the landing legs. Landing legs look cool. 3-wheel motion? Yeah, I know, and it's not going away either. That's good. It's bouncing so much that I can't actually recover it because it thinks it's moving. Alright, sorry. I was jamming, man. Okay, let's recover. Carolox Hill Gang. It's a good song. Okay, so power generation systems. We need to make the vehicle wider. I do see ways to get it aligned. I think I saw a way that could really help us here with alignment. So I'm going to mess with that. I would love to see this thing in action. Heaviest, we are very close to getting this thing operational. Now that what I'm basically gonna do is when we add this thing, like when I get this transporter figured out, that's when I'll do another mission. And don't get me wrong, we could get it finalized tonight. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. Anth is helping me out with the pad to prevent pad drift, so the pad problems are pretty much solved. I just got to figure out some things here and there with the transporter vehicle, and when we do, when we got that all figured out, yeah, we should be good to go. And I'll have us run an operational mission. Are the transporter center gear supposed to be the same height? They didn't look like they were. Oh my. Little embarrassed about that. Not solved, just significantly reduced. I got 15 launches off my last test. It was rough looking after 15. How are you refueling the pad, Anth? Does the thing go to low Earth orbit? I wouldn't take it past medium, because taking all that thermal protection system past medium doesn't really make sense. It could get up there, though. Yeah. Yeah, it could do it. Depends on the payload. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Let's just... You know what? I think I'll leave the alignment systems kind of the way they are. That seemed to have worked very well. We're gonna spread the wheelbase out here. Like that. We also got to figure out a place to mount the jet engines, because this thing still needs to be able to move this thing up the ramp. Let me get a picture, okay? So, I need fuel systems. Tuck some of these fuel tanks up in here. Cool. Now we're gonna need some. We gotta put fuel cells on here. I might, yeah. Might just put the fuel cells like right here in a spot where they're easy to get at and select. And then just make sure they're in the started position. There we go. So we got power generation there. Well, this is one big Jeb truck. Yep. Hopefully spreading the wheelbase out like that makes it a little bit easier. The other thing that I kind of could do with is moving the truck forward a little bit. I'm not sure if we should do that. Then again, this thing might be strong enough to push this thing up the damn ramp. You know, we don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know, man. You think all those wheels are enough to move it? We should probably test. Yeah, Pembo, but I'm not 100% sure that this thing could move it all the way up. It might. Okay, so the other thing that I need to do is move the wheel jacks out. I gotta move them out, and I gotta change the spacing on the wheels so they don't collide with the wheels when they turn. Hello, Sirius. We've been expecting you. Where the heck are we gonna put the jet engines on this thing? Hey, Canadian, what's going on? Okay. So we spread the thing out. We widened it out a little bit. It shouldn't take much. It might still be a little bit susceptible to turning over. How did you saw the SSTO go and crash boom during landing? I reconfigured how the fuel tanks were attached. The spacing is still exactly the same. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference in the craft files. The struts, everything is in the exact same spot. But Yargnet helped me figure out a better way to place the fuel tanks that's stronger. The hierarchy is much more like how we make launch pads. So this literally is a flying launch pad. I mean, it's close. How about vertical jets and have it VTOL? Okay. It's Friday, what a week, here to chill. Right on. It's pretty simple. It's just to get the job done. Okay. Make sure there's no crew aboard. I don't want any monkey business here. Another first for me tonight. You got asked if you wanted to go get beers after work with the boss and coworkers. So, what's being a normie like, Storm? I expect a debrief on your normie altercations. Because let's just say that us here are trying to avoid any normie entanglements. Nah, that's cool, man. Let's just say we're trying to avoid any imperial entanglements. The jacks aren't all equidistant around the center of mass, which is why she's lurching forward. Okay. Chat, we in fact have found another way we've figured out another way to not use that. Wow, that really made that thing drift, huh? Did you see that? Jeez. I wasn't expecting that. I might need to... See, this Jeb truck here is adapted from Collins' transport vehicle. That's where I ripped it from, and I paid $100K to do it. I imported the craft file into the mission mode save. It's a Collins transport truck. But it might be just a little bit on the small side for what we're trying to do. Yeah, I might need to change some of this stuff around, guys. Alright. Let's think. Let me think about this. So, why would it flex like that? The hierarchy here. So the hierarchy is a little bit messed up. This docking port right there is the root part for the transport truck right now. What is that connected to? Well, that's connected to this. There's a invisible connection from that strut to this, and then the entire transport vehicle. It's a hierarchical problem that's causing that thing to bend forward. I am 100% sure on that one. So yeah, well, Swishio, yeah, we gotta mess with it. So I might need to redo the architecture of the vehicle slightly, but that's okay. That's not a problem. Once again, the alignment problem here in the last test that we ran a second ago, we showed that the alignment system actually works. It works pretty well, based off of what I saw. I was able to reattach this thing and attach it without much drift. But when I tried to put this thing up on its jacks and lock the jacks out, we had nasty drift. And it's no doubt from that. I'm pretty dang sure. So it might pay to remake this vehicle slightly different, in a slightly different way, so I can so we can make it a little bit wider so the jacks won't be under stress, and also balance the jacks around the center of mass. Because if I have 3 jacks behind the center of mass and 2 jacks out in front of the center of mass, what's going to happen? It's going to lurch forward, right? And that's exactly what it did. I have 3 sets behind the center of mass, which is... The center of mass is right here. It's on that docking port, which is basically lined up with the center of mass of this vehicle. I had 2 sets out front, 3 in the back. Now, I mean, this could be as simple as just putting another set literally right there. Just watch the latest Vice Grip Garage. Awesome road trip. You gotta watch it later. I was wondering what he was doing with that car in his garage, Electron. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was wondering why he had it. He one-upped me. He Route 154'd better than me. Damn it. That was my idea. Let me see. Ugh. He has more practice, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he was doing it at the same time, Electron. Because it would have taken a little while to edit a video like that. I wonder if Derek did his cross-country trip when we were. It's interesting thing to ponder, I guess. Yeah, but mine had a tire fall off. Okay. So, let me go in here, and let me go in here like this. Select this piece, go to jack overclock, add force limit multiplier, open up the window, go down here, copy that curve, go in here, paste that curve, and then make sure we set the multiplier. There we go. Then, once I have the multiplier set, we got to go into the jacks control, go in here, add target extension, and then go over here like this, and then copy that curve and paste it. So I have another set of jacks working. Excellent. Make something like this for the crawler. Training wheels? Yeah. I have some ideas. I'm gonna need to attach things, and I need to attach the jet engine so we can push this thing up the ramp, if it even makes it up the dang ramp. It might. It might not. Who knows? No jacks next to the cabin? I don't think we need them in that regard. We just gotta really be pushing up on the center of mass. Remember, this thing's got a fat tail because of all the engines, so the center of mass is very towards the back. It's right... actually, I have it marked. The dry center of mass on the vehicle, so that is right where this flag is. I have a checkered flag mod, right? Or not a mod, a checkered add-on, I guess. It's not really a mod, per se. But what a good habit to get into. And if you want this, you type !flags into chat if you want that pack. What I do is mark center of mass on stuff. It's a good thing to get into, especially when you have a lot of different vehicles working with each other. It's easier to line stuff up. Yeah, training wheels with the jet engine. So that's what I'm thinking. Do we just paste some jet engines onto the side, or should I remake a new chassis that looks like this, right? That's wider from the beginning. Remake a chassis that's wider from the beginning, right? And put the wheels out here and have the jet engines in the center or something. Or should I just tack jet engines onto the side and just be like, yeah, it's good. You know? Remember, the jet engines have to be facing, the exhaust has to be going this way because it has to push it up backwards up the ramp. Like, like that. There is a test with the mass simulator. Yeah, see? We gotta push it up, but in this case will be underneath here. I would say remake it just to be 100% sure. Tiggs, I'm gonna probably do that. This was a good start, and this system works. I'm probably gonna make a better version of this, but I don't know. Is better the opposite of good here? This works. I gotta test it again, but I'm pretty sure it works just fine. Well, let's give it a shot. Let me put it to you like that. We'll give this thing a shot and see what that does. put this thing over here. Let me go to crew, get rid of it, go over here like this, save, and let's put it out there. Let's test it. So we got a couple more things that we want to test with this vehicle. Obviously, I want to be able to put it up on the jacks so we can go to integrate payload and not have to worry about it. I do have another couple of ideas that might work. All right, give me 1 second, guys. My back's bugging me for a second sitting in those chairs at the hockey game yesterday. They're not this chair, that's for sure. I'm gonna go stretch my back real quick. I broke my back, spinal. I'll be back 1 second, and then we'll complete those tests. Alright, dudes. Sorry about that. Let's go. Alright. So, let's put the jacks down and see what happens this time. How's the game? It's great, 10. Hat trick from Bergeron, but I'm not sure if it's wise to be relying on one line to score all your goals, but yeah, good game. I'm trying to see how badly this thing is swaying around, if at all. It's not bad. Now what happens if we lock these out? Locking it in and out is moving it back into position, which is weird now that it's hanging. See that? Strange. But it does stand up on the jacks now, which is good. We widened the wheelbase out enough. Want to see if we can get it up there? I don't think it's gonna work. If it can make it up this ramp, my pad ramp is less steep than this. If it can make it up this, it'll make it up the other pad. But I don't think so. I think we might, even if we do start to get these wheels up the incline, this is gonna scrape into the ground. So let's see. Well, it's strong enough. If I can just get it past the point where just the front and the rear wheels are touching the ground, then it could work. But that means we'd have to approach it with speed. Not sure if that's a good idea. Is this an SSDO spruce goose? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Kind of. Yeah, scraping. No, I don't, Toothless. Matt, that's not going to make all that much of a difference in the scheme of things. Extend the front gear only. It's not a bad idea. Here, we'll I'm gonna get this thing back to the runway just to make sure, because I changed this around since the last test. Let's see if we can go right down the middle here. Does take a little bit of power to get her going, huh, Blue? I like that we could drive it down the center. That's actually pretty rad. Look at this thing. Look at this dude. And we haven't broken any wheels either, which is pretty rad. Okay. I'm gonna try something here. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Parts of it are getting stuck. All right. We gotta recover. The Kraken is afoot. The back of it got wedged into the aft control surfaces when I went to undock. Okay. Squid can have feet too, Tessa. Racist. Is it true that Crew 2 is leaving a few hours before the arrival of Crew 3? Can't they wait a few more splashdown opportunities? No. The consumables on the capsule that's up there are going to run out. time is it? It's 9 o'clock. Alright. So, the next thing that I'm going to do... Anth, I'm grabbing your craft, the Launchpad redone craft file. Let's go. Let's see what we got. Let's try for it. I don't think I'm going to use the transporter, per se, but we'll see. We can use the regular jet truck for now, and then use the SSTO on, like, just land it and recover it and reintegrate the payload that way until we figure something out. Well, that's a bummer. So much for the continuous astronaut presence on the ISS. What, these guys don't count? These boys don't count, Swish? There's an American and a Russian still up there. Anton is still up there. Klim and Yulia came down. Does Klim in this picture have a badly translated English self-help slogan on his shirt? Say what you need to say. Off topic, do you ever plan on having to do some car work or like working on the truck? I really enjoyed those streams. Yeah, I get back into it. My thing about that right now, say, is I disassembled the auto streaming, a lot of the equipment from the auto streaming rig I used on the live rig. So half of the auto streaming setup is here and half of it's there, and I have to kind of put it all back together. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, that's all. Yeah, Demon, yeah, you too. It's backwards because of the camera. Moving on. All right, where's your... What's the fuel my ship module? The fact that two of you said that as a joke is very confusing. It draws all the fuel through a docking port. Okay. Yeah, see, you have the upgraded. Yeah, and you put a crossbar in there. Okay, all right. What the heck? What is this for, Ant? Oh, never mind. I see what it's for. Okay. Oh, okay, Swishio. So, like, the idea with the transport truck that I've been working on is that with it, I won't need this, or anything. All I need is just those side-to-side alignment ports, because the truck can already lift the thing up. But we'll just use the regular jet truck for now with this configuration, and then I'm going to need a bigger refueling truck. How's the big SSTO doing? Everything should be okay. We still just got to figure out that payload, the payload game. I think we're in the ballpark. The payload changeout device probably should work with the rover wheels. Because the thing about it is that, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. This is another thing to consider. The payload changeout device, what I was worried about it is that the SSTO is sitting on landing gear when we go to dock stuff to it. And that can cause a Kraken strike. If it's on rover wheels don't cause a Kraken strike. They just break. That's it. So it's a little bit safer being on the transporter truck. Now what I'm worried about is that we saw some drift when we locked and unlocked hydraulics with the transport truck. So I might need to fix some things there. But other than that, yeah, everything seems to be okay. And like I think we're all right. I just gotta, what I gotta do is go in here and merge this thing with the R42 or the R8 pad. This is the version of the small SSTO pad, but this version has my fuel umbilical on it. Give me that. And now give me a docking port. Goes over here like this. And this will make it so I can attach my fuel trucks to this thing. To the pad. That should give me a good fueling umbilical port here. So this will make it so the pad is refuelable. Cool. Now the pad's refuelable. So I can dock my big fuel truck to this. It'll take 4 of them, but it'll work. All right. So let's flip over to here. And this is the pad that you got 4 or 15 uses out of, right? The struts are kind of indicative of that, Sushio. 15 uses with 2 refuels per time, except for the first time. Got it. Okay. All right, here we go. And once again, thank you for all your help. You have been instrumental in getting this thing working correctly. 15 uses, no excuses. Anth, I might just say screw it and put the crane on this anyway. If everything is aligning on this correctly, I might just take the hit on having the crane here, just like the small one. Yeah, it's more parts, but we do everything in one spot, right? Instead of having the integration bay like out there, it might be a better solution to just put the payloads in right here. Just a thought, because, okay, so like the way I think about it, dude, is if we put this thing here, right, and we dock it, and we do the payloads here, yeah, we're bogged down by a terrible part count, right? But that, I still think in my mind that that will take less time than if I landed the SSTO, dragged it all the way over here somewhere, or out here, right? Took everything out, put everything in, dragged it all the way back, and then did integration. I honestly think that just having the crane here and dealing with the part count would be less time. Now that I'm really thinking about it. Can we do some extreme part reduction and make everything more skeletal? Well, I would with the crane, Jonathan. Yes, absolutely. I would take all the wing panels and stuff off. There are 5 minor changes that I made to it. It just took a while to figure out how to counter the issues. But it was, yeah, it seemed to be just everything being aligned. That was the problem, man. What do you guys think? Like, now that I'm really thinking about it, it might... But then again, where am I going to store these things when I'm not using them? Do we just put them on the pad like we did with the small ones? Do I keep them off in a hangar somewhere? When we're not using them, like, what do we do? Alright, well, let's check our missions here. We have that Minmus Polar Orbit mission. We have to make sure that our total profit from the payloads goes over 100K, because it cost 100K to make this. So, 67, launching the big SSD over this one payload is not good enough. We need to make a bigger payload. Have you tried a tower crane instead of a gantry for less parts? But tower cranes really aren't good at lifting up heavy payloads. They're only really designed to move a bunch of small stuff very tall, like over a long distance. Yeah, not the right type of crane. Gantry cranes are designed to move heavy things, short distances. I'm just saying, think about the FPS. I am. That's why we're having this conversation. Is there a reason a separate crane would need to be far away? Well, yeah, Cyberbob. Here's the duality of it, okay? If I have the crane on the launch pad, that's going to be a lot of extra parts. Parts slow down the simulation in the game. Having more stuff in the scene at once is going to slow down the game because it's a physics simulation, okay? So that would make integration, the frames would be very like when we go to put the payload together. Now, if I made a separate payload integration facility, so I made a dedicated area that's out of render range, out of simulation range when we do launching stuff, right? The idea is that, you know, I could land the big SSTO, we could grab it with our transporter vehicle, drive it down, right? Drive it over to the payload interchange facility, and we could, you know, because there's less parts in scene, we could swap out stuff, right? Swap out the parts. And then when the SSTO has the payload in it that I need to have, right? We roll the thing all the way back, and in this case, out of render range, which is 2.5 kilometers. And we roll it all the way back to the pad. I drive it up onto the runway, right? Because that's where the shallowest ramp is. That's where we're going to have to do it. and then we back it up on the pad, and this is with a little bit better frames, and then we turn it upright and we launch. Basically, think about how like a space shuttle, right, is built in the VAB, and then they rolled it to the pad. Do we want to do a roll to the pad thing? Because if we do, it's got to be a little under 2 miles away in game for it to really not affect performance, right? So is that what we do? Now, what I'm thinking is, if I do everything in one area, it's going to take a lot of time because we're going to get terrible performance from the game. It's going to slow it down. I'm wondering if that amount of time is equal to the amount of time it takes to drive the vehicle all the way over there, take payload out, put payload in with better performance, drive it all the way back, put it on the pad, and then launch it. That might take more time because of the transport times. But then again, the transport times aren't times where, a little bit of a different thing. The transport times are a time where I can just be driving the thing and talking to you guys and explaining the mission and stuff. I like that. My thought is that we should do a separate crane so we don't have to make another crane for the Rapier SSDO. Have you considered this? Yeah, that's more time that I can explain what's going on with the mission. I actually kind of like giving myself that out, Modern. In the past, I used Collins' terrible frame rate to flying into space to be able to explain the stupid mission. That's actually not a bad way to do that. And that gives me breaks from doing integration, so I don't have to do it all in one shot. I like that. I like doing that way. Yeah, let's do that way. And we'll have we'll do a whole payload processing facility. Now, what that payload processing facility will look like, it honestly is probably going to be another version of the pad. It's going to be another version of that with the crane. That's probably what we're going to end up doing. Anth, you proposed this idea of having another kind of dud pad set up as a to basically emulate what the pad can do without any of the robotics. So all you do with this pad is just hold it horizontal. I'm thinking having something like that, an apparatus where we can attach the thing horizontally, right? Yeah, attaching the thing horizontally is a good idea. Because then, once we dock, I can, even if it's still sitting on the landing gear, I can retract the landing gear because they'll be auto-strutted to things. And then we can have our crane slide independently of our holding device. Okay, that's the move. That's the move to play. That will give us the easiest form of docking, and we won't have to worry about the landing gear cracking striking because it's retracted. But since it's docked to a base plate, right, of prefamulated amulite, the crane can move around that amulite base plate, and I can lift payloads up and put them in, lift payloads up and put them in. Okay, more FPS during integration would be better. I agree. Yeah, pretty much something like, Anth, there you go. Only my crane would be a separate vehicle. I don't know how you're able to attach parts and detach parts like that, but yes, this would be, basically that, yeah. Don't you start. Start what? What are you talking about? What? I don't know what you mean.
For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in perfection to the crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal grammeters. Such an instrument is the turboencabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, It is produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directance. The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panametric fam. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus O delta type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible tremie pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the Grammys. The turboencabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Nofertrunians. Moreover, whenever a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration. It's not cheap, but I'm sure the government will buy it.
Be warned, that version did explode in my last test. I'm working on that problem now. Yeah, and that's why I want the crane as a separate vehicle that can roll independently of the prefamulated amulite base plate. Yeah, everybody got that? Once we get the combination to the air shield, we could take all the air from Druidia, thereby destroying planet Druidia and saving planet Spaceball. Everybody got that? You've watched that video a few too many times. No? Once we kidnap our daughter, we can force her father, King Roland, to give us the combination to the air shield, thereby destroying planet Druidia and saving planet Spaceball. Everybody got that? Alright. Spaceballs? Oh shoot. There goes the planet. Anyway. So, we have this satellite in a polar orbit around Minmus. 67. That pays 24 and 67, but we already have the 24 advance on it, so it pays 67. So this next SSTO mission that we're going to prep for tonight, it needs a bunch of satellites. We got to launch a bunch of stuff. We could send one to the moon. I could send one to Kerbin. That's supposed to be retrograde. Oh boy. A 3.9 degree inclined at 2.4 with a land of 42.4. I prefer the Big Bill Hells commercial. Hurry up, Panta! Big Bill Hells is the home to challenge pissing. That's right, challenge pissing. If you can piss 6 feet straight up in the air and not get wet, you get no money down. Bring your chat. That's right, your chat. We'll screw your chat. Wait, what? Frick you, Baltimore! Home to the meanest sons of guns in the state of Maryland. Guaranteed. Don't screw with us or we'll rip your nuts off. And that chick better not bounce or you're a dead melon farmer. That's so good. Oh, that makes me happy. Let's go look at some of these orbits. Oh, that makes me so happy. Bring your chat. We'll screw it. That's right, we'll screw your chat. All right. I can hit that one. What about the Minmus one? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make redone satellite buses that pretty much get to every single one of these, including the retrograde orbit. So, this outer one here from Sean's Cannery. Respect. Yeah, that should be easy to hit. That's the other one. So we can take... I can go super synchronous here, right? Super synchronous at the AP, and then we can reverse retrograde. Let me switch to the station, though, first real quick, so I can get an approximate delta V indication of what that is going to cost. It does, Kaiser. I like that Roadmaster that's in it, and the Camaro. I'm gonna basically, we'll get everything staged up and ready to go. Hey, what's up, Liberty? Liberty. For science. We'll take your science. We'll transmit it back to Kerbin. Don't screw with the Kraken or it'll bite your nuts off. Wait, what? Sorry. That's... I want the big SSTO to take this station down at some point. All right, let's check our Delta V. So, what do we need to hit that one? Oh, here. Let's just go out here. It'll get me an approximate. That orbit was like somewhere around here, right? So 800, and then how much is it gonna cost to do this approximately? Maneuver number 2. Figure 2,000 Delta V for that retro satellite. 2,000 Delta V should be fine. But see, also what I'm going to do here is we're going to redo some of our sat buses to be more, well, they don't need to be that small anymore. Let me put it to you like that. They don't need to be small. They can be a lot bigger now. They drinking the wrong water. What? Gatorade. H2O. Gatorade. Programming note. Crew 2 undocking on the 7th at 1 p.m. and landing on the 8th at 7 a.m. Crew 3 on the 10th at 9 p.m. SpaceX's Crew 2 mission is now targeting a return to Earth no earlier than 7:14 a.m. on Monday, What? The Crew Dragon spacecraft named Endeavour is scheduled to undock from the ISS at 1:05 p.m. on Sunday, November... I can't be here. I have plans. Guys, I can't be here on Sunday. I can't. I have plans. Like, not. I always, yeah. Not. These are. You need to be there types of plans. Damn. NASA will preview the mission on the 6th. Alright, where's... I'll be here for the splashdown, or at least I'll try. Bremo can't be here either, Yarg. NASA's Crew 3 mission is targeting no earlier than 9:03 p.m. on Wednesday, November 10th, on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from 39A. Yep. Guys, don't go to baby showers, Yarg. Guys, don't go to baby showers, right? So EJ's got to be here. You know what, Yarg? I'll be here, and then you talk to my pregnant sister about why I wasn't there. You can explain that one. All right? Do you want to do that? I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. You can do it. I'm not doing that. That's not a good idea. Yeah, that's a really bad idea. Yeah. That's correct, Concrete. That's exactly the reason. Bring her on stream and we will explain it. Bring a pregnant person onto the stream. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and not listen to you there. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there. Congratulations on becoming an uncle. Uncle, yeah. Thanks, man. All right, let's get these satellites made. So tomorrow we can jump right in and launch this sucker. Hey, Ewok. Your wife is pregante, so I guess I kind of almost understand. All right, yeah. Sometimes it do be like that, bro. Sometimes it do be like that. Sometimes they don't think it be like it is, but sometimes it do be like it is. All right, so we have the Minmus one. Okay, now I'm literally going to rope all these together. So, satellite in a specific orbit of Kerbin, that pays 55, so now we're in the green. So I'm going to take that one. Satellite in equatorial, that pays 86 on top of 30, so we double. Satellite in an equatorial orbit around the moon, or a satellite in a synchronous orbit around Minmus. That one pays more, so I might take that one. Can we take this one too? Yeah, we couldn't take that one. Okay. We're gonna have one. So I'm gonna have one satellite here that does both of these missions, and one satellite here that does both of those missions. And the total payout here, remember it cost 100K to fuel this thing. So let me just tally this up. So we have 67. This was an existing mission, so I don't get to tally the advance. 67,177. Over here, we have 20,000 plus 20,567 plus 55,338. And then this one here plus 30,719 plus 86,588. And then this one is plus 31,364 plus 88,409. We stand to make about 380 G's. And then minus 100,000 for fuel. So 280 G's. Also, EJ going to this sets up the reciprocal obligation for the EGSA derivative hardware press release. Yes. Yes. That's precisely. Okay. All right. Now, let's go build a new satellite bus. 2,000 meters a second Delta V is what I think we should end up with here. So, yeah. Tal, I see you. National Space Council set for December 1st. Huh. They got around to it. All right. Yargnit, I will ask, and if it backfires in my face, I'm throwing you under the bus. Okay? Deal? I'll be working anyway, so it really doesn't impact me. It just seems weird. I'm not really attending, to be honest with you, Yarg. Me and my dad are cooking all the food. So, yeah. It's probably not something I can really get out of. We're not, yeah, like I said, we're not attending. We're food. Food. Precisely. Yeah, that's what I mean. I really don't have a choice, man. Yeah, Tessa, I really don't want to be like, yeah, I can't go. Space mission. Yeah, I'll get punched in the face. Yeah, I don't need to do that. Did you look at the new Ohio license plate yet? That? Huh, they fixed it. It does have a real BioShock Infinite thing going on. I like that. I think that design is better. The plane is backwards. Oh, lovely. The plane's backwards. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It is backwards. Yeah, it's backwards. Yeah. It had the rudders. It had the rudder in the back and the elevators in the front, canard style. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And that has the... the front. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it in his picture, but look. Oh, you walk. That's good. That's good. I got a good laugh out of that. In their defense, the plane was backwards. That's so freaking funny, dude. Look, they're all hype. They're all happy. Look at how happy they are. Freaking plane's backwards. That's good. I like that. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, you walk. That's why you wanted me to see it, dude. I needed a good laugh, man. Thank you. Holy crap. Look at, we invented planes. Yeah, I see that knowledge quickly, they quickly used it to fly away from Ohio because you don't know how that plane works. Oh my goodness. Man, that's funny. Alright, we'll start with the lug nut. The lug nut has this Mark III. This has good Delta V, but we're gonna need to find a way to get this more Delta V. So let's go with the Mark IV SAT. Mark IV lug nut 2 satellite bus. I call it a lug nut because it looks like a lug nut. Obviously. I knew you'd enjoy that. I got a good laugh out of that, man. Thank you. That was funny. Okay, so let's take a look. Could have been worse. Could have been upside down. I mean, the rights were okay, but Santos Dumont had it right. $14 biz. Wait, is that backwards too? No, his plane fly. Yeah, see? Yeah, okay. Yeah, see? He had it right. Wait, is that backwards? Oh, God, it is backwards. Nope, he had it wrong too. Never mind. Nope, forget I said anything. Alright, so this is using a Spark engine, 320. And the other designs were using an Ant engine at 315. Nope, he had it wrong too. Screw that guy. Alright, get rid of that. What kind of Delta V are we talking about with this? 1296. Alright, and then with the Sparker engine, now that we're in vacuum, 1204. Huh. Sorry for the ping. Is racing with a keyboard okay? No. No, not with Friday Night Racing, Flykin. You're gonna have... No. That's... Dude, yeah. That's not gonna work. My only other option is an old PS3. Sorry. My only other... You really, really, really want a steering wheel. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want... keyboard is just, you're just gonna crash into people, dude. A controller at the very least. Don't play Assetto with a keyboard. You're gonna struggle, and you're not gonna learn anything, which is more important. Let me check something. That gives me 380. That should be enough solar panels. I ain't worried about solar panels, to be honest with you. What are we gonna get with this? $13 with that. Okay. How much TWR do you want? Yes. Huh. Eh? Could make like a kind of a little mini IUS here with this thing if we wanted to. But I'm not sure we'd have enough space. I'd probably want to work on a more kind of generic payload dispenser here. So what we should do is something like this. So give me... We can still use that small decoupler, right? So get the small decoupler in there like that and do something like this. Actually, we'll do that. Put that in there like that. This one's gonna have to be auto-strutted because it's in line. And then get me the decoupler, right? All right, de-shroud that. So that 1700. Clarence Beaks. Huh. Hidden Parker Solar Globe. Yeah, Star 48, Jim. Mm-hmm. Yep, it has Star 48 on it. So I'm gonna do one of the simplest things and just extend this. And you know what? We could even do better. I'll replace the antennas. Just get rid of that, and then just give me one of these bad boys like this. That gives me 2700 Delta V. That should be more than enough for pretty much any satellite bus. And then what I'll do is we will take these things and we'll move them locally kind of back so it looks a little bit more balanced out in the design. And these have Rove mates, which are really good probe cores. Very, very good for KerbалNet, right? And yeah. Oh, I set it to absolute, like a putz. Okay. Now give me the antennas back. Make sure that everything is nice and aligned. And then what we'll do is I will work on the payload dispenser here. Aero parts. Nope. Yep. Okay, we got a good sat bus here, perfect, with a good dispenser, and we can place these on the shuttle pallets, and we should be good to go. Or the SSTO pallets, I should say. And now what we're gonna do is just a little bit of a thing here. I'm gonna make a dispenser that's designed for this so we can move this thing out of the way. So basically it'll, you know, I'll have the panel down here and we'll have the attachment points on the sides, right? And then we can use this to move the thing into position by locking that and then lowering the damper, right? And then when we go to deploy the satellite, we unlock it. We can move that out of the way. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that looks terrible. All right. So we'll do probably something like this would be better. And then now I just need some type of thing that looks like it attaches up here. Fortunately, we have a lot of extra mass here that we can play with. Unlike with the other SSTO. We got a lot of extra. Extra. So this will be our dispenser. Erecting a dispenser. So when we lift this up, we'll lock that out, and then when we go to deploy it, we can... And then we should get a nice deploy with this thing. That I-beam is too long. So there's the shuttle pallet. We have it inside here. Okay. So take this, move that like that, and then take these and move them out like that. Remember, this stuff has to be able to be quickly integrated with Kraken, or, well, outside of the SPH, I should say. But right here, we still have the benefits of putting this all together here. It'd be nice if KSP2 had smaller parts. Yeah. Cool. Kind of sad is this. It's just one that I'm designing with the shuttle pallet inside of it, so we can deploy it. With the payload bay. It's designed to work with it. Okay, so let me just, for a second, we'll move that out of the way. Get it, you know, so. Yeah, there you go. All right, so it's outside of the deployed position. All right, save this. And now, do you need a reaction wheel or RCS on this? It's not rendezvousing with anything, and station keeping is not a thing in stock KSP, so no, I really don't. Alright, so, position the satellite in a polar orbit around Minmus. Please note that this must be a new unmanned probe for the VATCO Advanced Suction Systems after the contract is accepted. Okay. Reach a designated polar orbit in Minmus with reasonable deviation, maintain stability. Unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power and is fully assembled. Alright, that's one mission down. Where's its sister mission? Build a new unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power. Okay, new probe. It needs a thermometer and a Science Junior on it. Frick. A Science Junior? That's the big thing, isn't it? God. Okay, what's the specs for Kerbin? Nothing. Resource survey scanner and a gravioli detector for the one around Kerbin. Oh. That. So this one's going to need a Science Junior for the Minmus one and a thermometer. Okay, that figures that one out. That is 3,000 Delta V, so yeah, that'll get wherever we need to go, and it's based around a Science Junior. And now the other one needs to be based around a resource scanner. And that's the one that needs like 2,000 Delta V. This one is going to fly to Minmus. You know what? I'm going to put the solar panels up here. Because the solar panels usually go with the, like the electrical equipment. There we go. So that completes that mission. Now let's save this as a Mark 7, because Mark 6 I already have invented. Get rid of all that. And honestly, set that. That's what we need. Get rid of that. I'm going to go with the small tank back to this one. Right? And then we're going to need the the survey scanner satellite. Why do you have 0 meters a second now? It's the hierarchy. Sorry, snot. So now if I go here and I route to the probe core, the hierarchy should pick up my delta V calculations correctly. Oop, there's a hierarchy problem there. Fixed now. 2,000 meters a second delta V, huh? Well, that's no good. Just leave the antenna open. No good. I'm getting all these damn payloads figured out. We want to do this tonight, so we just put it all together tomorrow and send it. I guess I don't really see why that's a problem, yeah. It's no problem. Right. And it's got 2,000 Delta V? Kind of looks cool. Yeah, I don't hate it. We're good. Let's do this, mate. Actually, let me just double check it. Let's do this right. Safe the satellite out. Okay, the probe core is set as root. So I'm gonna move this out of the way, right? So it should be engine, decoupler, and then this. Perfect. Okay, we want a slight bit of overlap because when slight bit of overlap between the colliders, so when we eject it, it springs off. It'll shoot off in a direction, like we attached it to decoupler springs. Okay. We know that this is going to fit inside of the payload bay. If I just move that 2 down like this, there we go. That will fit. I will double check that here right now. Attach the docking port. Set that to absolute. Give me the payload bay. I'm looking for height check this way. Yep, it's working. Cool. Okay, fuel is locked out on this one. Our staging is correct. Decoupler force percentage is good. This has a gravioli indicator on it. That's the barometer. That would have ended well. There we go. Okay, gravioli indicator is on. And then a resource survey scanner. There we go. Gravioli detector, maintain stability. That's the first contract. For Kerbin, second one is just get into this orbit and maintain stability. All right, cool. So that's a Mark 7 lug nut satellite. Actually, it's not really even a lug nut. Okay, that one's good to go. Now let's go back to the other one, the Mark 5. Hey JM, what's going on? Okay. This one has 3,000 and it's destined for Minmus. 3,000 should be enough to go into a bunch of different Minmus orbits. 0.3 degrees, 368 by 347. And what's the second one? It needs a thermometer and a science junior. Got that. Generate antenna, generate power. Okay, we got all that. You're trying to tell a friend I don't want to play a game without making him feel like I don't care. Okay, JM. Hey, JM's friend. Look, dude, I'm not really feeling it tonight. Just don't really feel like playing that game. Don't get me wrong. Just because I don't feel like playing it now doesn't mean I'm not going to feel like playing it later. I'll just talk to you later. That's it. That's it. It's done. Unless you said you were going to play, in which case you told your buddy's setting up his plans around you now, so you best be getting on there and playing. No, don't make excuses, Immolated. If you don't want to play, you don't want to play. That's just telling the truth. JM, if you told your friend you want to be on there and you're not feeling it, well, guess what? That's not his problem. That's your problem now, because you said you'd be here. Don't blow your friends off. Bad idea. Don't waste their time. Just general rule of thumb, dude. Don't waste people's time. Yeah, turns out people do not like it when their time gets wasted. But EJ, don't we waste your time all the time? Close out the fuel. Let's just make sure we're staged correctly. Make sure we're all grandparents strutted up on the probe core. Perfect. Good. I'm going to move the antennas forward because I don't want to make it look like they're attached to just the fuel tank. I want to make it look like this is the fuel tank, this is the satellite part. Satellite part's up at the front. There we go. That should look good. Let's do a payload bay test just to be 100% sure. Switch that, set that to absolute snap just to be sure. Give it the extra tolerance that it needs. Frick! You freaking fricks! When will you learn? Okay. Cleared. Cleared for use. This is 11/5/21. Save. Go over here. Like a glove? You ruined Sonic! When will you learn that your actions have consequences? It's still funny, man. It's still funny. Alright, so close that payload out. Let's give this a cert here. Certed for use. 11/5/21. Bingo. Oh, here, Jonathan. Let me adjust it for you. Ah, there's your proper date code. Yeah. Hey, what day? What hour is it? Shut. What day is it? What month? Frick. What year? Up. There you go. Yeah. I got the proper date code for you right there. I got the proper date code for you right there, pal. Down to the hour. You're like, okay. Sorry, man. I don't know. Okay. How much mass is this? This is 1.6 tons. No, you better get ready to account for daylight savings time. Oh yeah, good point. So the Mark 7 is 1.6 tons. How much is this? 2.7. So let's just say the other one is 2 as well, and just say that we got 4 tons of payload to pay out all this. Guys, we have 16 tons of more payload. What do we do? What do we do with the... That's a lot of extra payload space. Do we... More rideshare? I can't take any more contracts, man. I can't take any more contracts. Resupply the station? With what? Fill it with Dogecoin. Relay sats? We don't need that. You know what we could do? We could go back into the B3 orbiter right here that I've been working on. This one. B3. Here we go. Here we go. 2 palmers. Here you go. That one has the integration spots on it? Yes, it does. Alright, so just... This isn't the payload changeout one, so let's just save that like that. And then we Then we will go in here and do this. Alright, so open this up. Open this up. Something that I never did was figure out a way for the home for the robotic part. For the robotic arm. So the Mark 7, merge. Okay, Mark 7 needs to be like that. And that one needs to pretty much go right here. There we go. That takes up a lot of space. Recovered dart. I haven't figured out the payload devices for that, guys. I'd have to build a payload adapter. Take up a friend? I mean, I'm not saying no, but why? Close the antenna, more space. It's too tall. Blue shorts, I can't close it. I tried. It's too tall. It'll stick out the top. We have to launch it wide open. Resource survey satellite. The dish wide. Shaka when the SSTO launched. Jebediah and Valentina at Mun. Fuel for the eventual moon missions. Well, King, alright, yeah, I mean, we can do something like that. How? What do I just put fuel in here? Do we dock to the station? Do we transfer it? Do I do it shuttle style where we have to design an arm and grab it? Then gives us an excuse to make one of those. Hey, Elias, what's up? That's a big vessel. Where are we going? I'm finishing up the end-to-end development of this thing. We call it Jebstar. Elias, you remember Collins back in the day, right? Elias, here. Old school. Old viewer quiz for you. Alright, I don't mean to put you on the spot. If you don't know the answer, that's cool. Remember the shuttle, right? I know you were around for that. You remember the shuttle? What was my dream to do with that space shuttle? What was I really working for? Landed on the moon? No. No. Sunday, Warting. Hey, Naughty Ostrich, what's going on? Holy crap, that looks cool. Oh, thank you. How are you? Oh, my dashboard's taking a dump. Give me 1 second. Let me just go ahead and refresh that. Anyway, Elias, I didn't... Let me just make sure that I got the chat back. So, a lot of people said it already, Elias. I wanted to make it fully reusable. That's a fully reusable thing. Doing well, having some tea. What's the TLDR on the build? So this is Jebstar, Naughty. Jebstar is my reusable single stage to orbit, vertical takeoff, horizontal landing launch vehicle. It's capable of putting about 20 tons up into low Kerbin orbit and then having ample fuel to come back down and land on the runway. The crazy thing about this is that I don't just put this on the pad, okay? We don't do that. We don't just put it on the pad, call it a day. This thing is designed to be reusable. It's designed to work with a pad. We roll it up onto the pad, take it vertical like this, and deploy sats with it, and then bring it back down, land it, and tow it back over to the pad. Kind of like that. That's its little brother. That's the small one. That's the K-33. That's the big boy. Can fly all the way into space. And what I'm doing is I'm loading satellites in this thing for us to tow it over to the pad, attach it to the pad, turn it upright, fuel the thing, and then what we can do is what I'm trying to do is make it so I can land the thing. I'll have some type of integration hangar that I'll build, and my satellite dispensers here, you know, they have a little hinged arm on the top that can do this, right, to deploy the satellite, and then they fold back into position, and I use a crane to pick and pull them out without ever recovering the vehicle. How's the crew program doing? Good. I have to get the small SSTO back up and running, but we should have enough to rebuild Launch Complex 3 after this mission, lulz. And once I do, we'll get the small SSTO running, and honestly, the small SSTO is just going to run with the crew module. I don't need to run cargo in the small SSTO anymore. We could just run the crew module in it permanently. I'll just leave it in there, we'll strut it in there, and just leave it. And then we'll just run crew launches out of Launch Complex 3. That is seriously rad. I'm taking notes. Do you stream KSP, Naughty? Yeah, I get a little nuts with this. I've been playing Kerbal since 2012, and I've been streaming it. I've been playing Kerbal since August 2012, and I've been streaming it since December of 2012. I play a lot of KSP. I played a lot of this over the years. So this is like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this is entry level stuff. This is the tough stuff. This is very difficult stuff to do. You do on occasion? Right on. What's your main game? If you don't mind me asking, like. Any 10th streaming anniversary swag? It's actually not a bad idea, Kyron. Holy crap, that's in December. No, it's not. That's 9 years. Oh, okay. I couldn't do math for a second. Not good for the guy that plays the rocket science game, but I was like, wait a minute. No, it couldn't have been that quickly. 9 years streaming. What new stuff is there going to be in KSP2? Yes. It's a ground-up rebuild of KSP, Ewok. Math is hard. What's up, Rocket? So that's going to go in the third hook slot. Space Engineers, if you want to go by sheer number of hours, word. It's a good game. Alright, and let's get the second payload put in here. Rocky guy, what's going on, man? We have enough room to stack 2 of these dispensers near each other. But yeah, for some reason on the second dispenser, the struts got all messed up. But Rocky guy, I'm suffering from getaway special syndrome here. So I have a lot of aggregate payload space open. And what does that mean? I have extra. We can launch 20 tons into space and we have 4. That's, not really needed, right? Unpopular opinion. I'm a weekend warrior when it comes to racing. Regular oval NASCAR had me progressing and improving. Road courses that change every week don't help me improve and kind of put me off from racing. I don't have the time to practice because work. Bring back 10-minute lap NASCAR each week for Friday night racing. Noted. How do you make an orbiter not crash on two planets' gravity locked into each other like in KSP2? I'm not sure. How do you make an orbiter not crash on 2 planet gravity locked to each other like in KSP2? Yeah, some complicated orbital mechanics. Anyway, birthday celebrations, that's cool. Sorry, what was I saying? Fun question, your thought on the best place to watch tomorrow night's launch? I'm lucky enough to be down there. Oh, rage. Anyway, I'll talk to you about that in a second. This is, I have getaway special stuff. We have a ton, these are the 2 payloads, and both of these payloads are going to complete 4 contracts that pay out like 200 grand. And we have basically 16 tons of extra payload space. Like, I'm trying to figure out what we want to do with the rest of that payload space, but, yeah, I'm sure we could figure something out. Or we could just fly with this. We're well within the profit margins here. But, like, don't get me wrong. Fellas, it's not so much what we should bring up. It's, you know, I don't just want to jam a fuel tank back here and then send it to the station. I don't want to do that. I want to, if we're going to send a fuel tank up, I need to figure out a way to be able to integrate it and deintegrate that thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's going to be something that we got to kind of figure out. That curved panel is uncomfortably close to the forward cargo pod. Well, Audrey, we're going to have to fly it into space like this, and then when we go to deploy one over the other, what we can do... What the hell? Oh, okay. We can do that temporarily to deploy one. We can deploy and undeploy the scanner. But it has to fly like that into space. A triangular network. I already have that. Make a fuel depot module. The Constitution module that's up at the space station is already doing that. Is it full? It doesn't have any room for fuel storage. It's a fuel transfer module. Yawn, you baby yawny boy. Sorry. Someday. Scanning sat for the moon and Minmus. Well, yeah. I already have one out at Minmus. I think I have one at the moon too. I'm trying to think what else would be good for the architecture. So I'm hoping for some really rad builds in KSP 2. Should be good. I'm hype. You know what, guys? Let me sleep. Well, it is wasted payload if we really freaking procedural wings, tanks, and mods. Yeah, yep. I like building the arrow shell for it anyway. I think it might be a good idea to get a remote manipulator system going with this. An RMS would be a good idea to do, but also when we go to make the RMS, I'm going to have to not sure how we're gonna do it. I have an idea. This thing, I need an RMS for this thing. It needs to have it. Anyway, happy birthday, Rocket Guy. Did you do anything fun? Yeah, getting the RMS to work is going to be something interesting. So, we send this up. We open that dispenser. We can deploy this with the survey closed. Open this up, deploy that, close that, close that. And now what can we do? It's clipping in this orientation. I know. Oh, yeah. This is going to need to be... There we go. Good old-fashioned beers and cheers. Got it. I really don't like how close that antenna is to the other payload. Sorry. Well, it'll fly up in this configuration. And then once it's up here, we do that. And then I take the survey scanner, I close it, and that's when we deploy it. Once it deploys, we can reopen it. That way we don't have to worry about it ever getting near it. So, your worries are unfounded. Locked. Take that, locked. Will you be able to do that though? It really does look like it's clipping. Yes. Yeah, I will, Audrey. Yeah. Of course we will. Okay, I'll take your word for it. My eyes suck. Alright, I think, you know what? Let's just start off with this. If something else comes to my mind, I'll sleep on it just to be sure. This thing is in payload configuration. That's correct, King. Yeah, I'm not too incredibly worried. Sweet. This thing is pretty much good to go. Number 9 has already flown once before. Call it Voyager. Okay. All right. Guys, I think we're good. Was it your favorite vehicle since Neptune? Yeah, Maggie, I'm happy I sucked it up and decided to keep going with it. I want to figure out that robotic arm, but I also want to start running missions. So, let's run a mission with this thing and see what it does. It has the alignment brackets and the secondary docking port if I want to test the tug with it when it comes back down. But right now it just has jet truck on board. It's really an awesome machine, isn't it? I'm really annoyed with myself that I even thought that I should get rid of this thing before it even flies. Yeah, the part count's gonna suck, but we'll find a way around it. We'll fly that mission tomorrow. And I said we would get the lunar program done by the end of this week, but I need to finish that payload thing, and that's gonna take one more stream after tomorrow. It's gonna take one more. So one last delay, and then we restart polling on with mission mode, and we put this thing to work. See if we can make some money with this thing. Yeah, and payload integration is probably going to happen on Monday or Tuesday. depending on, you know, if I have time and or wake up for that Crew 2 thing. Alright, we're set to jet for tomorrow's mission. Pad is fully fueled, SSTO is ready to go. We just gotta put it out and then move it into position. That's it. Okay. Cool. I got everything done. Those dispensers are going to work for now. I suppose, you know, once we get the robotic arm, or I want to get a robotic arm up and running, but it's going to take some time. The big thing that we're going to need to figure out is how the heck I'm going to get it into the payload bay. Like, if I have to remove it or not, how I'm going to do that. Not KSP, but it's Crew 2 coming back before the launch of Crew 3. Yeah, parts are gonna start degrading on that Dragon capsule if they wait any longer. So they're gonna send it now, and unfortunately you don't have a crew overlap, but it's only for like a day. So there'll be 3 people on the station for like 1 to 2 days, and then after that we'll be good. Are they allowed to use the toilet? Nope. Alright, guys. I think we should get up and running for racing. Can you explain what your understanding of the decay? I don't know what components start to break down, King. I'll be 100% real with you. I have no freaking clue. Solar cells, maybe? I know they said something about that. This Dragon is cleared to be up there for 210 days, absolute maximum. The mission was scheduled for 180, so they do have a little bit of leeway. But NASA decided to bring them down a couple of days early before Crew 3 launches out, because Crew 3 moved out by a week and a half, basically. Basically 2 weeks. So you're pretty much getting to that point where the Dragon, it's not, I mean, Dragon might work. It might work for, you know, past 210 days, but it's only tested up to 210 days. So it could work after that. I don't want to risk it. I wouldn't risk it with people aboard, so they're going to bring them home. That's just a good way to mitigate risk. Yeah, got to be a lot of space news next week, Hell Hydra. Wait, what happened to Dragon's toilet? Some of the seals broke, so it leaks pee all over the Eclipse system. Or the Eclipse, I should say. Yeah, it leaks pee all over the life support systems, yeah. SpaceX already fixed it, but they can't fix it on a Dragon that's up in space. So there's three Dragons. There's Dragon Endeavor. There's Endeavor, Resilience, and Endurance. Resilience and Endurance are on the ground. Endeavor's up in space right now. Gotta fix that one. Yeah, pee leaks out the side of the toilet. Yeah. Leaky pipes. RJ, we got all the missions staged and ready to go for it. Let's get in there for racing.
Need seed.
Hello?
Seed.
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 Okay. I'll be right back. All right, so that's going to do it for Kerbal. I got everything done that I wanted to get done. I wanted to try and go and launch the SSTO today, but it's okay. Now's the time to get everything fleshed out so we can do those operational missions, so we can belt them out, and we can just literally spend minimal amounts of time engineering new components and just launching components. Other things that I need to work on are the payload transfer vehicle integration port. I need something to be able to dock and undock the transfer vehicle and transfer stages inside and out of the SSTO so we can bring stages down and put them up. that's gonna be something we're gonna work on. But we'll start doing missions, and we'll get the deadlines for the lunar program figured out sometime basically next week. I'm pretty much good to go. We're finishing all the gearing up. Anth has got the pad working pretty dang reliably. Thank you, Anth. You saved my tail on this one. I really appreciate it. We just got to get the payload transfer facility figured out, and that won't take me very long because it's going to be a very